content creator, social media influencer, and small YouTuber. I am a singer, a journal voice. Go back to business. Oh my gosh. Okay, our topic for today is another topic, right? Second segment. Okay, this is main source of our energy. Okay. Makita nyo guys, I'll be able to write something. I think I will gonna write this in capital letters, right? So that we can see clearly. Okay. Main source of energy. O, ganun. Main source of energy. Okay. Why we need energy? Okay. Energy. So that we have the capacity to do work. Okay, like that. Right? Energy is the capacity to do work, something like that. And of course, the first requirement is we need to understand a little bit, not a little bit, some kind of cellular respiration. Because if we have respiration process, then we are breathing day by day, right? If all of us doesn't breathe, then we will die, right? Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale oxygen gas, exhale carbon dioxide. So we need to study the cellular respiration. And the cells are responsible for that because this oxygen and CO2 will be penetrating and go to our cells. That's why it's called cellular respiration. So before tackling the main source of energy, we go back to cellular respiration as a prerequisite to understand further the main source of energy. So in our biology, in our high school, we still remember that, okay? Cellular respiration, what do you mean by that? Okay. So a flashback is in memory, so in high school level. In our high school level, we are second year high school at that time. Okay? Then I've been studying in, a public school. Okay? Naga National High School. Okay? Like that, it's gonna be like that as far as I could remember. Okay? As far as I could remember, kusog ko memorize sa una guys, okay? And then after second year high school, during the commencement exercise, I remember I am a second honor student after second year high school. Okay? So kusog ko mutuon. Oh my gosh. Okay? Like that. So, what's gonna be the cellular respiration? So we need to remember the word cell, of course, because that's cellular. And we need to remember the word respiration. Okay? Like that. So cellular respiration. So we need to say our K player here is the cell. Right? Meaning an actor, a person that does the performing of a certain task, process, activity, work, like that. So we need to determine first the K player. Okay? Because it will not be done if there's no K player to do that. So there must be somebody to function, okay, in order for the vitamins to process further, the minerals to process further, and a lot of biological substances will process further, in which our immune system needs that for having a strong immune system and to become us very healthy. Right? So cellular respiration, okay? Then so we have 3 steps for this, right? Okay. What are those steps for this? The first step is very important, guys. Okay? If this process is not available, then all of us will die. This is glycolysis. Okay? Glycolysis. Number 2, the Krebs cycle. Okay? The Krebs cycle showing all the cycles, all living organisms, their functions, including the atmosphere, the lithosphere, the biosphere, like the ecosystem that we have, some interaction of living organisms with the plants and animals and its surrounding, its habitat, something like that. That is Krebs cycle. Okay, Krebs cycle. Okay, and then the last part will be the oxidative phosphorylation. Oxidative, meaning there's an oxygen, right? Oxidative phosphorylation. It is a process in which it uses oxygen and phosphorus at the same time to produce energy. And it will be more enhanced by the light of the sun, radiant heat energy of the sun. Okay? Through photosynthesis. So, okay, this one. So this will be the three. Now we will be focusing now on number one. Later, we will discussing also this two. But this, 2 and 3 is more, shall I say, a little bit of difficult. Really, because you have to know the chemical reactions in conjunction with the biological substances, and you need to know the process, meaning the biological processes. It's not really necessary to be a chemical process. Biological processes katong mga kuan, electron transport, mga ganun, okay? Katong mga commensalism, ganun, mga predator, katong cycle niya, okay? So, biology is, for me, I found it difficult because this is not also my field, okay? So, start lang dito sa yun, or sa not very difficult. Okay? So, muna siya metabo. Okay. Glycolysis is the, definition muna tayo ha. Glycolysis. Glycolysis is the process of breaking down glucose. Okay? Glucose from your body, something like that. So, glucose, okay. Glucoses or glucose units, marunong na siya, right? Okay, glucoses or glucose units. Okay? Muna siya first step. Okay, sa cellular respiration ang glycolysis. Okay, glucoses. And then guys, pag nag-enter siya OSE, carbohydrates automatic siya ha, OSE. For example, sucrose, fructose, maltose, galactose, those belong to carbohydrates family or sugars family. OSE sa last term. Okay? Like that. So, glucoses or glucose units. Ganon. I-break down niya. It will yield pyruvic acid. Okay? There's also chemical reactions pala. But more lang talaga siya sa biological. Okay? So, pyruvic acid. Okay, the formula is 3 atoms of carbon, 4 atoms of hydrogen, and 3 atoms of oxygen. Okay? Pyruvic acid, right? Okay, and then it will produce, okay, the main source of our energy, which is reflected in our title. See? Main source of energy. This is now 2 ATP, okay, 2 NAD, and 2 pyruvate molecules. Coming from the pyruvic acid, of course. Okay. Okay, so these three guys are energy carrying molecule found in our cells. Okay, so are very, very important substances. Of all living organisms, both microorganisms and macroorganisms, something like that, because human beings are macroorganisms or belong to the species of phylum Mammalia. Okay, like that. The highest form of animal in the kingdom or in the species. S-P-E-C-I-E-S. Lagan ko, nagkuhan lagi siya. Wait ha, I will look at the window and examine what's really happening outside. Oh my gosh, there's rainwater. Nagkuhan siya. Char! Really? Yes, it's gonna be reverse fall. Oh my gosh. Hala, nagulan na siya guys. Oh, it's a blessing. Nagulan din siya. Wow, kaloka. Okay, muna na siya guys. Atong yung source of energy. Okay, papasok. Okay. I hate this part in my organic chemistry before, but I love to, do the molecular structuring of the organic compound. By the way, guys, based on my research from the, what's this? I forgot. That's from University of Calgary. Okay, one of my references also. And then I found it, and also in Wikipedia, I try to collaborate the references also. Okay, and also in the other one, Harvard University Public School of Health. And then a lot of sa maklik lang mo sa Google search engine. Ganon. Okay? So, naglingon-lingon ako sa akong kamot while researching that one. So, it says there that ganon siya, we have the two types of doing the molecular structural formula. We have the Haworth projection. These are new, guys, right? Even though before I don't know this, in my fifth year BS chemical engineering curriculum, 5 years na siya, di ba, mga engineering. Okay, wako ka deep ka sugat ani niya nga terms. Okay, but just only now, okay, I read it. Okay, so we have the, di ba, just so many things to learn pala, no? 5 years will not be enough to study all the framework of those, you know, sciences courses, really. Okay, now we have the Haworth, nakalimutan ko Haworth projection. Okay, Haworth projection, guys, and the other one is Fisher projection. In my research in the University of Calgary, you know, like health issue magazine, something like it, I read it. Okay, so this is discovered by Emil Fisher. That's why it became Fisher projection in 1891. Charots. Okay, so Mr. Emil Fisher, he is the one that discovered how to orient and structurized or to have a structural formula orientation of this organic compound, which are very, very common to be adopted by all of us. Okay, something like that. Cyclic structures with yung okay, cyclic structures common kay siya, guys. Okay? And then iingon siya dito nga the most common in writing the structural formula in a two-dimensional arrangement, something like that, of an organic molecule. Okay. For example, guys, muna na siya. Isuot niyo sa papel. This is so that you can remember also Haworth projection and Fisher projection, right? Okay. Ningon si Fisher projection, guys. Okay. Cyclic structure siya. For example, if I have, let's say, the enantiomer, grabe ka mga term, no? The enantiomer of D-glucose. We have blood sugar, right? Responsible for the regulation of our, you know, insulin level, like that. Between the relationship between the, you know, the HEPA meaning the liver, the pancreas, like that. Okay? So, maintaining the regulation of the blood sugar, blah, 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 so on. So, okay. Nito dito siya sa D-glucose na, guys, ha? D-glucose. Okay. Glucose in the blood sugar, right? So, we have also L-glucose. So, duha ka buo. Okay, guys, based on the study, okay, it can exist as a D-glucose and the L-glucose. Now, on D-glucose, guys, these are very popular and famous that can be found in, shall we say, a cane. That's why we have sugar cane. And that can be found also in, sometimes in strawberry, something like that. Okay? Oh no, not strawberry, grapes. Okay, but strawberry is sucrose, right? This is the only fruits that the grape special, because sugar there is glucose, not the sucrose. Be careful also that we say all sugars, sucrose coming from the fruits. No, it's except for the grape. Okay, grape sugar is glucose based on my research. Okay, so glucose found in fruit, okay, and in plants. Okay, like this. Okay, L-glucose, guys, cannot be found naturally. Okay, it can be only synthesized in the laboratory, something like that, meaning artificial or man-made preparation. You can obtain L-glucose. So this is obtained through the process. Okay, since it will be obtained through the process, that's why it will be fortified and it will be added to the food drinks in the market. This kind of glucose, L-glucose. Because it can be synthesized in the laboratory, and after that, they will mix that there in your drinks. Okay? Because it cannot be found naturally. Only the D-glucose can be found naturally by plants or food, but this is natural. Okay? You get the point? But all our glucoses, these are only enantiomer. What do you mean by enantiomer? Enantiomer is it's really a mirror image. If you try to get a sample of blood sugar, so it will orient the molecular structure, but the same amounts of elements and atoms there. Only it will rotate in the left and the right at the top, but still the same. So these are called the non-superimposable mirror images. Ganon. Muna siya yung mga enantiomer. You get the point? So muna siya yung matabo, guys. Okay? Okay. So enantiomer is an example also of the stereoisomer. Technical naman yun siya, guys, no? Okay? So enantiomer ang tawag niya, guys. So, di ba natin isomers? Okay, isomers are those organic compounds that have the same chemical formula but differs in their molecular formula, structure, orientation, something like that, okay? And their physical characteristics and chemical characteristics, only the molecular formula are the same. Then, atong punan siya og stereo, so stereoisomers. The definition will vary slight, but it's still the same chemical formula, okay, remember, but the molecular structural formula and connectivity arrangement niya, okay, is not the same in the 2D and 3D space, just like in the computer. Okay, the movement. Okay, the rotation. So, muna siya yung differential between stereoisomer and isomer alone. So, this enantiomer is under stereoisomers, not in the isomer. Okay, you get the point? And there is also one, the dia-stereoisomer. Dia-stereoisomer. This is not a non-superimposable mirror images. So, dili good siya mo-project leto na to, we stand on the mirror. So, mo-reflect ang atong noun sa mirror. Inana siya ang principle sa enantiomer. Okay? But this dia-stereoisomer will not project a mirror image projection. Okay? But still under stereoisomer because they have the same chemical formula. Okay? Ang common is the same chemical formula. You get the point? And in timan sa enantiomer, there will be a non-superimposable mirror images reflection in the arrangement. I will teach you, I will put that here also, ha? Okay, for example, guys, mubalik kanikuan ni Fisher projection. Okay, wala na ako ikuan. Asa may formula sa blood glucose to provide us energy? Glucose is walang katapusan, C6H12O6. Okay? Ganon. Guys, ang kanibiyang glucose, guys, o kaning D-glucose, aldohexose family ni siya. Meaning, we should also remember the, the prefixes, hexose, pentose, ganon. Triose. Triose meaning 3 carbon atoms. Pentose sugars, 5 carbon atoms. Hexose, kaning mga glucose, hexose sugars ni siya. Meaning to say, 6 carbon atoms. But it happens that during the orientation, we add the letter D. That's why it becomes aldohexose sugar is the glucose. Okay, now, there is also a specific example for this type. We have the, as I said earlier over and over again, this is the dextrose. Okay, that's why we have dextrose in our hospitals. That's coming from the D-glucose orientation of the glucose we found in the carbohydrates. Okay? Like that. Okay, now, and then the raw material for the dextrose could either be a potato, okay, like, or a starch. Raw material, dextrose in the hospitals, ha? Okay, potato or a starch. Get the point? And it undergo a process, physical process, and they obtain the dextrose. Okay, ganun. So, ano siya natago? So, kung natay D-glucose, mabase ka sa D-glucose ni Fisher projection. Okay, ano siya natago? 6 man, di ba? 6 carbon atoms. Okay, ganun. So, 1, 2, 3. Makita niyo guys ang formula. Di ba? Uy, iwan ba siya guys? Wala. Tapos na akong mental. Oh. Uy, iwan lagi ay. Nakakaloka. everybody. Hello, Philippines. Hello, world. Ulan din siya, guys. So I have here, charara, 6 carbon atoms. O nako, nakakaloka. Okay, ganon. So, saan man yung pag-identify na sugar ni siya? So, ganon. Ay double bond sa taas. So, double bond oxygen. Ganon. OH. Okay? Basta kung Fisher projection, guys, there will be a lot of OH. Mag-start your numbering from the top, not in the bottom, ha? So, carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4, carbon 5, carbon 6. Okay, and then in the bottom part, we have CH2OH. Okay, ganon. Now, guys, di ba, the normal projection for this glucose, guys, naman pinasusulat ang mga OH, di ba? So, OH, 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 okay, OH, OH. But in the carbon number 3, starting from the top, the OH will be on the left for the D-glucose. Here, OH. Okay? Then the partner of OH, the opposite part is the H, the hydrogen atoms. So it's gonna be like this. H, H, okay, H, H, H. Ganun, count. 1, 2, 3. So, ganun siya. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, wala na siya OH diri-ari. Okay, forma ng carbon. Carbon has 4 electrons in the outermost shell, or valence electrons. So, 4 ay ma-share. So, see? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, you should detect if you get wrong. Okay? Like that. 10, 10, 10, 10. So, 10, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So shared. So shared completely. So, oh my gosh. This is a non-polar covalent bonding. Equal sharing of electrons. So this is the D-glucose. Oh my gosh. Okay? This D-glucose is very familiar. Okay, in our system, our body. Inside our body. And this is also the blood sugar. Okay? Like that. And then if you try to have the enantiomer for this, it will reverse. The OH will go there and the H will go there like this. So it will become like this. OH. So mabali na siya tanan. OH. Basta mabali na siya tanan. You will reverse all. The OH will go here, the H will go here, the OH will go here, OH will go here. Ganun siya. Ang dili ma-reverse the top portion, the carboxyl group, and the alkyl group. No, the carboxyl group and this is not alkyl group, the alcohol group, right? CH2OH din siya. Okay? So the presence of OH could mean a base, hydroxyl group could mean a base, and sometimes an alcohol, right? Ethanol, ethyl alcohol, propanol. Lagi siya OH sa dulo-dulo. Okay? For example, CH3OH, oh, methanol. Oh, ganon. Okay? Like that. So, muna siya. So, ano lang siya? Ako na show guys, parang kita maglibog. Abi pa lang, tapo lang kuan. So, ako siyang, so, it's gonna be like this. So, OH, H, okay, ganon. H, then mabalipod siya diri-ari, H, OH, sorry, H, OH, ganon. Then C, 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 C. So, muna na siya guys, ha? Ibalin mo na siya enantiomer. Okay, non-superimposable mirror images of the arrangement in a two-dimensional arrangement. Two were good siya guys, not three. Okay? Like that. Okay? Muna kang Fisher. Now, kang Haworth projection. Okay, I love the projection of Haworth because there's like
device is ready to pair.
kuan siya guys, manay mga ingani niya ha. Okay? Ingani. Pentos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ingani gani guys, ang corner, carbon na gina siya dito. But not necessarily butangan mo carbon when you do the cyclic structure or arrangement or orientation of the molecular formula. Okay, wala yaha. Okay, sa mga may tabo. Basta sugar really guys, there's an oxygen on the center at the top. Ganon. Dito. Oh. Imo gyud siya timanan kung mag-chemical engineering ka. Kasi mga forma sa sugar, like that. Okay? Imo gyud siyang i-memorize since birth. Charot! Dili since birth. Since high school. Okay? Tago ka. Okay? CH2OH. Ganon na ganon. OH diri ari. Oh. OH diri ari. O ganon ganon ganon. Okay, di ba? Then OH, OH, ganon. So, i-count mo ang OH. Di ba nalagyan mo guys? Na 1, 2, 3. So, kuwang pa ka. So, naka OH diri ari. Okay? Guys, the technique guys is if you know the valence electrons in the outermost shell, study also the periodic table. Because that is the basis, your identification during the chemical reaction and then the orientation of the elements to be bonded. And then to determine how many electrons will be shared, like that. Ganon. You know, for example, phosphorus, okay, it could have 3, it could have 5. Nitrogen, it could have 3, it could have 5. Carbon, 4 good siya. Ano ba? Okay? Oxygen, 6. Ang kanang 6 mo na lang mo, kung dito mo share ang mga elements. Okay, ganon. Okay. So, muna na siya ang atong kuan, ang atong glucose. But this, take note guys, this is glucopyranose. Okay, why? Ano glucopyranose man yun? Okay. Okay, nag-start ba ito 3 ari? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, ang CH2OH naman sa number 1, so that's why we say alpha D-glucopyranose. Charot! Yung nga good guys, organic chemistry, daghan kag i-memorize. Okay? So, ano siya guys? Alpha D-glucopyranose. Wow, pyranose. Ganon. Or the same as D-glucose. Kaya in-sugar, mabuti siya guys. Okay? Muna siya ang yung drawing sa glucose, sa blood sugar in our bloodstream. Okay? Nani siya dito. Okay? Wala takakita. Okay? Saan ko muna? Ay, hindi mo ako nakakalaw. Okay. Now, ang ribose sugar pa. Hello? Yo. Hello? 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 Uy? Hello? Gamay ako tingog. Sorry. Hello? Hello? Oh, wala na siya. Gamay akong tingog. Ako'y nag-press. Okay, now, ribose. Ribose sugar. Why I choose the ribose? This is very important. This is sugar in our ribosome, in our cell, in the production of, nucleic acid. Very useful in the synthesis of the DNA and the RNA for our genes or genetic information. Okay? Like that. So ribose, very important. Okay, so ribose, 5 carbon. Ribose, naman ang ribose guys, muna siya no. Then oxygen hapon 3 ari, yan muna siya chupa-chuchu. And then OH, ganun siya guys, okay? And then we have here HOH. Okay guys? So 1, 2, 3, 4 na siya. Okay? So H. Okay? OH. Oh, H. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ibilangkad niyo mo guys ha. Ibilangkad niyo mo para dili siya mubuyin sa straight dip. Hindi mo makita ang iyang banded element. Ganun siya. So H. Okay? And then here, CH2OH. Ganun siya guys ha. Tunaan din niyo guys. Napwede siya OH diri ari. Ganun siya ba chuchu. OH diri ari. H. Now guys, nani siya diba? Ribose. Nga makainan man ka na mukha soluble siya. Kaya namin siya i-contribute, diba? OH. Ang this hydroxyl group coming from these sugars, okay, make it soluble to water. Okay? Kabantay mo dissolve ang sugar sa water if you stir that one. The same as will be happening inside our body because of the presence of hydroxyl group and add by the H. This H coming from organic acid, inorganic acid, or anything compound that contains an H, mo react ang sugar. Kailangan siya OH. Okay? So, mo react siya sa mga polar compound. Something like that. And then usually, mo react sa mga amino group. Amino group katong mga nitrogen base, nucleic bases, katong mga, for example, adenine, mga amino acids, adenine, guanine, cytosine, pyrimidine, like that. There are 21 amino acids in our body, right? To link together in a particular manner based on the genetic code of our genes, right? To produce protein synthesis to make us stronger so that we are very, very strong together with our energy source, which are the glucoses, energy sources, right? Katong mga ATP and AD, mga ganon. Okay? So, mukulit na siya diri ari. Okay. Ikakulit niya dahil sa mga amino-amino group, nasa siya, mukulit siya phosphate group here, it will now become a nucleotide, the raw material of nucleic acid. So, nanatay tayo DNA. Di ba? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay? Nasa tayo ribonucleic acid yung Paris. Kasi definition sa ribonucleic. Ang ribonucleic guys, di ba, nga na siya. Deoxy na to. Ang DNA, so ako i-emphasize, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. The sugar responsible for the synthesis of this nucleic acid, okay, is the deoxyribose sugar. Okay, that's why it's called deoxyribonucleic because deoxyribose sugars ang gigamit na itong raw material to produce nucleic acid to be used as our messenger, to be transcribed, to go farther with protein synthesis in our DNA and in our genetic information sa atong hereditary traits, ganan. Okay, and then ang RNA, ribonucleic acid, ribonucleic, so ribose sugar siya. Okay, but the same, 5 carbon atoms. Deoxyribose is also 5 carbon atoms, and these are isomers with each other. Okay? The same chemical formula, the orientation is the same. Why? I will tell you the ribose. Ganina, deoxyribose to siya. Now, this is ribose. Pareho na po siya, guys. Okay? Okay. Ay, ribose to ganina. Sorry, ribose to ganina. Kaya may OH. Dili na mo bakter, guys, sa corner. Puros H, dili ari ang kuan. Ang ribose. Okay? Ganon. So, kung siya yung ribose, mo rin nandito na siya ang ribose. Pareho na tanan. Naradiri na yung OH diri ari. Okay? Nya ang deoxyribose, pareho na siya kanan. Ang H na diri ari. Usaray diferensya. Ayan yung structural formula. Orientation ba? Kaya nahimo siyang H, OH, nibalitok niya masakay sa diri sa taas na ba? Okay mo, okay, structural orientation man. Pero mawala siya magkamera na siya isomers. Di ba sa siya matawag ng isomer kayo? Di man siya mirror images. Okay, di man siya mabalitanan. Ang katong mirror images mabalitanan. Just like you, when you go to the mirror, baliktad tanan magatubang na nimong imong kuan nga nang principle sa enantiomers. But sa isomers, nalay usa ka buok or do ka buok ang mubalitok o orient muna isomers na siya as long as structural formula dili siya pareho pero the same chemical formula gapon. Okay? Ganun. Bisaya na dito ha. Wow. Nakakaloka. Okay guys, that is all about ribose, deoxyribose, D-glucose or what we call the alpha D-glucopyranose and then the L-glucose. Okay, so if for example in the further future examination, it will say how many types of glucose in our body, or how many types? Your answer will be D-glucose and L-glucose. These are all blood sugar. Okay? And then if the question will say, what is the another term of D-glucose or simply glucose alone? And your answer will be dextrose. Okay, dextrose, pareho na din siya formula sa glucose. Okay? So, OSE is meaning sugar. Anything, if have OSE in the last term, that's sugar already. Okay? Ganun-ganun siya, chupa-chuchu. Okay. Now, going back. Charot. Nakakaloka. Okay? Atong kuan ang yang... Asa na nga time? 35 minutes na, guys. Tayo na tubig. Grabe sa kita makabilang. Asking bukas. Nag-ising. Nagpuwan. Okay. Now I will be discussing to you guys first the type of substance and then the type of let's say polymer. And then another thing is we need to know the chemical formula. Third, we need to know the molecular formula. When I speak about molecular formula, guys, it talks about the molecular structural orientation and arrangement of elements in that particular organic compound. Now, chemical formula is just the general. For example, a uric acid, C5H4N4, ganun siya, di ba? O3. Again, C5H4N4O3. Muna siya uric acid. Okay? Now, if you try to put that in a structural orientation arrangement, you will put the electron sharing like that. Okay? Like that. Okay? Say for example, if I sige, C5H4N4O3. Ganon. So, 5 ka carbon. So, klaro ka siya, guys, na naa siya nitrogen. Okay? That is a presence or indication of an amino group or nitrogenous base group. Okay, mo siyang timanan. Now, yung mo siyang i-distinguish, is this a protein? Muna nakalisod sa organic chemistry because it will be given a molecular formula, then you will told to distinguish if it is a protein, if it is an enzyme, if it is a sugar, if it is a hormone, like that, if it is a nucleic acid, if it is a phospholipid, if it is a steroid hormone, like that, if it is really a protein, like that, you will distinguish. Or it could be an amino acid. Maglibog ka, guys, because amino acid ends also with INE. Amino acid, for example, guanine, adenine. But protein also ends in INE. For example, bilirubin. Okay? We have also keratin. Diba? So, pectin. Something like that. So, maglibog juga. So, imo timan ang formula na lang yun. Imo siya i-break down ang structural formula. Magdaog ra ka dito. Okay? Okay. Kung magsalig ka sa mga last words. Unless sa sugar, kaya sugar is very easy. OSA na yun siya per me, diba? And then, ang alcohol po ang base, BASE, hydroxyl group, there's a slight malibog gamay. Kaya OH mo siya puro. Okay? In fact, the organic acid, nasa JOH makalibog, di ba? We say that OH is hydroxyl group, but why the general formula or functional group of carboxylic acid have also OH? RCOOH, di ba? So, dito ka magsaligan na imo yung tokion. Okay? Muna siya yung tabo. So now, muna siya, CH5NO3. Is this a protein? An acid? Since I said uric acid, of course, normally acid. Then prove it if it is really an acid. Okay? So we have RCOOH. RCOOH. Now, there are 5 carbons there. Okay, so buhat ka 5 ka carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. O, diba? So, 5 ka carbon. Imo siya butang na dito siguro din mo ang carboxyl group. Kaya acid man siya. You will determine the functional group. So, COOH. COOH. So, acid na siya. Sigurado na ka. Nasa corner, ha? Okay? Or pwede siya sa taas. Depende sa ato na siya sa corner. May tago ang... So, acid din siya dati. Naman siya si OOH. Okay. Now, iba rin i-project ang carbon electrons bonding. Covalent bonding. Okay? Ten, 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 ten. Ganon! Ano? Guys, naman siya nitrogen. So, upat ang yung nitrogen. Oh, ganon. So, asa mo na yung ibutang karon ang nitrogen? Oh, di ba? Asa mo na yung ibutang? Ang nitrogen, guys, is, kuan man na siya, good, inert, or noble gas, because it is the last, what do you call this one? Last family 8 in the periodic table. Pinaka-last siya mga vertical column. Family kung vertical, period kung horizontal or row. That's the rule in periodic table, right? So, if magkaadto siya dito sa right, left na siya, no? Magkaadto siya sa right, loses its conductivity or metallic properties. That's what I remember. Kung magkaadto siya sa left, mutaas ang iyang metallic properties. Katong mga, masama to siya, mga ductility, malleability, di ba? Properties of a metal. And then kung magkaadto dito sa right, loses its metallic properties, it will become lighter and it will become non-reactive. Wala to dito mga kuan. Xenon, krypton, neon, argon. So, ganon. Chuba, chuchu. Na magtaka ka kang nitrogen, neon kan inert siya. Lalagyan siya dito dapit. Buyon siya sa, diba ha? Fluorine, nitrogen, phosphorus, ganon, and chlorine. Okay? Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, like that. Buyon siya dito ang nitrogen. I-check, guys. Okay? Because I do not also memorize everything, the position of the periodic table. Okay? Wala siyang metabo. So, nitrogen. Hala. Nitrogen, ang iyang ma-react niya, no, ang hydrogen radiol. Think of a compound na ni-react ang nitrogen sa lain. Diba? Kaya siya parent man din ang nitrogen, good sa bonding. The same as the characteristic of a carbon. Parent siya ba sa bonding? Mag-start din siya sa tunga. Okay, ganon. Sa mga cyclic structure. Wow. Ganon. So, kung nakay H very ari, let's say for example, H. Tararat. H. Pura ba yan ang H mo? Di ka magkumpiyansa ha, kay pura ang H o. So, 1. Nakay 1 sa OH dahil. So, 1, 2, 3. Budgeting the number of hydrogen. So, 4 ka hydrogen. 4 na siya. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tara, correct. Oxygen, usan na lang kuwang. Asa na lang ibutang oxygen? Uy, malaking ka. Okay, so dire na mo sa tumoy para safe ka. Okay, ang oxygen sa tumoy, dyan mo buhaton. Just like sugar. Okay, then, nandun na siya, di ba? Oxygen, 6 electrons in the outermost shell valence. So, nandun siya, kaya naman siya doon na boundary sa carbon. So, there are 4 unshared electrons. So, here, ano siya, polar covalent bonding siya dari-ari. Okay. So, kung polar covalent bonding siya dari-ari, it needs also polar molecule to react dari. So, normally, water. Sa tumoy ani uric acid. Muna, kung mainom ka water inside our body, the uric acid also will be slowly flushing out into your urine. Because water is having a high polarity, it will react to the unshared electrons in the corner of your uric acid. It become now soluble. So that's the reason uric acid is soluble in water. Okay? So most of the acids really are soluble in water. It will be just flushing out because there's an excess unshared electrons in the oxygen part that will react to the OH. Ganon. H sa oxygen, di ba? Wala siya ang tabo. Okay? Ganon. So, una na yung oxygen, tulog na siya. 1, 2. Asa mo na kiputa ang nitrogen? Muna yung tabo karon. Ang nitrogen may ako guys na kay 4. Ganon. Ano na yun ka? Okay. 4 akong nitrogen. So, 1. Ari. Mayroon ka nga. 1. Nitrogen dari-ari. Okay. Dari-ari. Diba? Ganon. So pila man ka ikaw din mo ang pila mo kabuok imong nitrogen. So magsugod ka sa bansa 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 4 4 1 2 3 4. So wala naman siya usa ka nitrogen diri ari. Okay, mulima man siya sa carbon, mo-deviate na siya. So that's you will really count one by one. Now, take a look on my structural formula. It is correct. So oxygen is 3, correct. Hydrogen is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, correct. Carbon atoms 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct. Nitrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, correct. So this is the structural formula of uric acid found inside our body. So there are 4 nitrogen, okay, 4 hydrogen, I'm referring to atoms, 5 carbon, and 3 oxygen. Mo siya structural formula. Now if you try to get the molecular formula, hindi mo siya i-break down. Mo na siya C5H4N4O3. So this is the chemical formula, this is the molecular formula. If we mean molecular formula, that could mean structural. Molecular structural formula refers to the orientation and arrangement of the bonded elements in that particular structural representation. Representation. Okay, ganon. Pwede sabihin mo siya na N2, N2, NH. Or pwede sabihin mo na CO, magbase sa kadri, pwede sa namin mo. CO, okay. CO, N, N2, NH, H2, COOH. O, diba? Ganon. Okay? Now, imo mo nang i-rearrange. So, imo nang pundukon. Para din siya ani. Pero kung gusto juga na COOH, wala problema. Okay? Ano nang yung pagkuan? So, C, O, okay, N, okay, tuluman ka, apat man ka hydrogen, di ba? So, magbuhat sa kada alog anin, NH2, okay? And then, nasa kayo sa ka-anin, di ba? So, formal, kung ano sa ka-oxygen mo. Asa maibutan mo sa ka-nitrogen, diri ari, okay? So, N2, so, diri ari, N2, H2, N2. So, unsa may pinaka-close ana niya? Okay, so ang ammonia, right? Or ang NH4. So, CO, NH4. Like that. So, napakay duha ka N2. Okay? Since wala siya, awkward siya, go to the ammonia. So, CO, NH3, NH2. Okay, ganon. Kaya na naman kay amine, nasa kay H3, so mahimo siya H4, so HN3, NH4. Then i-add rin mo ang COOH. Yung mga functional group sa kuan, sa organic acid. Okay? Ganun siya, chart. Diba? Now, I will teach you guys sa kuan yung mga functional group. From dali kita makasabot, for example, acetone. I have acetone in my home. Then I need to use this acetone to remove the paint, right? The ink. It will be removed, right? When you put acetone in your, if you are nakay manicure, right? Acetone, paint removal man na siya. Okay? So, ang formula sa acetone, that is belong to the ketone family. Imong man na ng functional group. Ketone, nga na siya guys sa carbon, double bond, oxygen, alkyl group. Una siya acetone. Now, remember acetylene. Ganan. So, meaning 2 atoms of carbon. Right? Acetylene na siya. Acetone, acetyl, ganan. Okay, so 2. Nakaisa ka carbon. Ang problema mo karon kay C2 mo to, nakaisa ka carbon mo yan. Ganan. Sa kaduhat ka carbon, perfect. Ang iyong problema, ang mga hydrogen chuba-chuchu na lang. Okay? So, ganon. So, ang R mo ana, dili na ka mag-add og carbon, muditso na ka ana og H. Okay? Basta lowest or simplest siya nga ketone, okay? Takes place ang role sa aldehyde. Okay? Kaya di mo pugso ng utang ka, usa ka carbon kay if you add another carbon, it will become C3 and it's not acetyl anymore. And it's not acetone anymore from the word ace, A-C-E or acetylene. Acetylene has 2 carbon also. Anything that has ace in the chemical formula, that is 2 atoms of carbon banded there. Okay? Acetylene, acetone, ganon. Ganon. So, 2 carbons, so correct na siya. So, kini siya H na diretso. Okay? Ang carbon for valence electrons man, ang ako sa 1, 2, 3, so H din na siya. So, H, hydrogen. So, anawin mo siya. Now, marunong mo kung butang o OH, Sir Sotero, because this is alkyl. Alkyl has no OH, only H and carbon. Diba? C and H is only carbon and hydrogen. So, mean to say, hydrocarbon only is the member of the alkyl group equivalent to the capital R. Okay, so, muna, mabuhatin mo ang formula. Muna siya ang formula niya. So, ang acetone, CH3CH. CH3, COH. Muna siya acetone. Okay, even though I did not memorize the formula, I can make the formula because I know the rule. Okay, I know the rule how to put the structural orientation. This is the formula of acetone, CH3COH. Even though you will not memorize that, you can still remember that as you grow older. If you really understand how to do it, okay? Just like in anything, if you understand what you are doing, you can still know how to do it. Okay, so this is the formula. CH3COH is an acetone. Okay. Now, if I will convert this to the acetaldehyde, so there's an aldehyde. So, ibalik mo, tantamon mo ang H, ilisda na po mo siya og carbon and hydrogen bonded. Okay, aldehyde man siya, so H na lang siya. Ganun. Acetaldehyde, ito mga carbon, di ba? So, 1, 2, ganun. So, acetaldehyde. Okay, so, mahimo mo siyang ano naman ang formula sa aldehyde? Oxygen and R and H diri ari. Okay? Like that. Remember? Okay? So, banded din yung carbon and hydrogen o kuha din mo kung ano naman kay H. So, CH3 niya siya. Dali rin kayo maka-chemical formula sa acetaldehyde. Okay? Aldehyde na actually hindi mo siya acetone. You got the point? Okay? Di ba nakakaloka? Di ba guys? So, basically guys, acetaldehyde can function as an acetone. Mujin nila, makabuang sa akin, di ba, in our organism, sometimes aldehyde can act as a sugar, sometimes ketone family can act as a sugar in certain conditions. In what situation? Just like this. This is on the spot. Karoon na ako na-discover. Okay, kinamtay ketone, di ba? RCOR. So this is the power of on-the-spot vlogging. Okay, and we have also RCOH. Since we know, 2 carbon rin na ang acetaldehyde at saka acetone. Doon ka carbon niya. Naman kay ari-ari. Di makapugos put C here. So basically, orga po siya sa formula sa acetone. Acetone and acetaldehyde mo equal siya sa structural formula. Hala, i-review niyo guys, tanawa, RCOR, then RCH, di ba? Ang kaloka. Di ba guys? RCH. Okay? RCH. Okay, then double band. Ganon. Double band oxygen. Oxygen mag-gina siya guys, the carbon will, if there's a double band, it's impossible for the oxygen to come in. Because hydrogen guys will only share 1 electron to carbon. So, even though you will not memorize, you will understand there's a 2 double band. Here, it's gonna be oxygen in butang sa tumoy, dili ang hydrogen. Common sense, right? Okay, you will not force hydrogen here. Or else hydrogen will be 2 electrons. Di ba nakakaloka? So, hindi siya mo-follow sa rule. So, it's gonna be oxygen yun siya. So, basically, pareho siya formula ang acetaldehyde o ang acetone na nakakaloka. Sure? Diba? Ang sugar. O, sugar na punta. Diba ketosis, sugar? Uy, nabuang ng tingog, uy. Napasa guys, ha? Uy, nabuang ng tingog. In fairness. guys. Kaya mo. Kaya naku ko nalulok ka. Wow. Tayo pasak. Ito kung hindi ko anak yun siya. Di ba natay kuan? When does a sugar will become a ketone family? So for example, if I have dihydroxyacetone, this is a sugar also under ketosis family. Okay, for example, like this. So dihydroxy meaning di. Hydroxy is 2OH. And then acetone. Right? So this is your ketones. Acetone, 2OH, and di. Okay, dihydroxy man siya. Now, what is the functional group of ketone? Di ba RCOR? So RCOR, ketone. And this is ACI again. Because acetone is 2 carbon. So, mapugos ka buta carbon diary. So, carbon, like this, like this, like this. Okay? Dihydroxy. Okay, duha ka OH. So, asa man mo ibutang ang OH? Ano higayon na? So, dito ka diary. OH. Sa kilid, dili siya H. Kinamuli siya OH. Nang asa mo sa ka OH, diamond siya. So, ari ang usab diri sa pikas, OH. Dihydroxy good. Okay? And then the rest, H. Muna na siya. So, ipa ang carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, sakto. Carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. Sakto siya. Okay? Now, ang oxygen ay unpaired electrons. 4 unpaired electrons, right? Muna siya yung metabo. Nakaloka. Okay? So, ang atong formula sa dihydroxyacetone will be CH2OH COOH. Right? CH2 diri ari. CH2 na naman tayo OH. So, COOH. Okay? Muna siya formula. CH2OH COOH is the formula of dihydroxyacetone, which is an acid of dihydroxyacetone, which is a ketone family. But take note, this is also an carboxylic acid group. Kailangan siya COOH. Minsan makaluluka, di ba? Okay, so it will exist also as an organic acid because there's a carboxyl group, COOH. May ilhan. Okay, so mo acetone siya, mo acid, at the same time mo ketone. Based on the structural formula, but we don't know really sa yang application in real life scenario. But usually it will act as acetone rather than sugar, and but sugar also can act but rather than an acid. Okay? Like that. So, muna siya formula sa atong dihydroxyacetone. Okay? That's very clear. Mungkin mo timanan guys, ACI gani acetone, duha jud na ka carbon. Nya kung propa, tulo, kung butyl, upat. Penta, 5, hexa, unom, hepta. Pwede sa kumingon nga heptaldehyde. Di ba? So 7 ka carbon. Heptaacetone or heptone. Nakakol 7 carbon. Yung imo ni budget diri ari sa bisig pila pa nakabuk yung carbon, imo gani i-budget sa imong functional formula. Makuha ra jud mo na siya. Okay? May technique. Okay? So, ako nang gi-point out diri nga ang dihydroxyacetone will act as a sugar in a ketosis family. Okay, now, just now I found out that sometimes also it can act as an acid because there's a COOH in the chemical formula, but I still don't know, I still cannot prove it unless I will do a research sa real situation kung mo-acid ba sa gyud ni siya. Okay? Unless proven antacid na acid. But as long as I know theoretically that it is a sugar, at the same time, an ketone family will act as sugar. Okay? Kaya doon ra kayo na siya formula. Ganon! Diba? Now, sa kumang uban, sa mga pahumot, sa mga perfume formulas, deodorant, spray, mga pahumot sa atong lawas, ang sama na mga formulas, organic compound. So, muna siya ang mga esters. Okay, mga ganon. Esterification reaction, ganyan. So, ang imong functional formulaan, mo ni siya R, C, O, O, and then R apostrophe. Wow. R apostrophe talaga. O, alkyl group kaya po na siya, pero I mean, optional if there's a alkyl group will be added or not. It depends on the situation. Muna siya ang ester. Okay? Naputay ether. Unsa may application ng mga ether chupa-chuchu? Okay? Ang ether na to kay what ay carbon ang ether, guys? Ano lang natin so? R, oxygen, R. Oh, carbon na siya ang ether. A-T-H-E-R. Muna natay Ethernet. Charot. Tungod na nga formula. R-O-R. Walay carbon. Charot. Charot lang. Diba? Yung aldehyde, balik ko na ito kanina. R, C, ganon, H. Yeah, ketone, ganon. Okay, carboxyl, R, C, O, O, H. Ganon. Wala na siya, kung pinaka-common. Ang katong mga amino group, i-add-add raman ito nimo, mga phosphate group, mga sulfate group, i-butang-butang raman ito nimo dito sa mga tumoy-tumoy. Okay? Any questions so far? Nothing else? Okay, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. You can click down below in the comment section and you can subscribe my YT channel and then click for the notification bell for some viewers updates. I'm a singer, eternal voice. Bye bye. God bless everybody. See you later for my next vlogging. Bye bye.